Okay, let's talk about one of the most dramatic and honestly misunderstood nights in pageant history. We're going back to the 1994 Miss India competition. It's a story with a shocking twist, a rumor that just wouldn't die, and a really powerful lesson about what it truly means to win.
You see, this one night wasn't just about crowning a winner. It was the launchpad for two, count 'em, two global icons. This was way more than just another pageant. It was a genuine turning point that put India on the world stage in a way nobody had seen before.
So let's set the scene a little. The year is 1994. There's this new energy buzzing all across India. And beauty pageants? They were a massive national obsession. I mean, the glamour, the excitement, the drama, the whole country was absolutely captivated. And this year's competition was shaping up to be the biggest one yet.
At the very center of all this hype were two contestants. On one side, you had Aishwarya Rai. You probably remember her from that famous Pepsi commercial. She was already a superstar. Her face was everywhere. Her name was on everyone's lips. She was, without a doubt, the absolute favorite. And then on the other side, you had Sushmita Sen. Super sharp, incredibly determined, but definitely the underdog in this fight.
And when I say Aishwarya was the favorite, I mean it was a done deal in everyone's mind. The media, the public, everybody had already decided. It wasn't even a question of if she would win. It was just a matter of when they'd place the crown on her head.
So picture it, the final moments of the show. The tension in the air is just electric. The two women are on stage, holding hands, waiting for that one name to be called. And then the announcement comes. And it's Sushmita Sen. The underdog had won. The entire nation was just stunned. Immediately, that was the question on everyone's mind. How? How did the sure thing, the predicted winner, actually lose? For years, this really simple story started circulating, kind of an easy explanation for an outcome that absolutely nobody saw coming. For years, this one rumor persisted. It was a simple story. Aishwarya had a tiny slip during her final walk, just a small imperfection that supposedly cost her the crown. It was a neat, tidy answer that made sense of the upset. But here's the thing. It wasn't the truth. It actually took years, but eventually the pageant's host, Ruby Bhatia, set the record straight. She made it clear it had nothing to do with a physical slip or a flawed walk. The decision, she said, it came down to something much, much deeper. The deciding factor was this very concept, substance. So what does that even mean in a beauty pageant? Well, the judges weren't just looking for a beautiful face. They were looking for a true representative, someone with the intelligence, the confidence, and the character to handle a global title. And in that final Q&A round, Sushmita just shone. Her answers were seen as more thoughtful, more confident. She didn't just give good answers, she really embodied that whole idea of a woman of substance. It was about the depth and poise she showed, handling tough questions with an eloquence that felt totally authentic, not rehearsed. In that crucial moment, her intellect gave her the winning edge.
And this is where the story gets even more incredible. That one controversial decision in a pageant in India set off this unbelievable chain of events. That May, Sushmita Sen went on to be crowned Miss Universe. And then just a few months later, in November, Aishwarya Rai was crowned Miss World. For the first time ever, India held both of the world's top international titles in the very same year. It was monumental.
So in the end, that historic night didn't create one winner and one loser. No way. It actually produced two legends whose careers would go on to define an entire era of Bollywood. That shocking upset was really the setup for an even bigger, more historic triumph for India on the world stage. It all leaves us with a pretty interesting question, doesn't it? Is a win defined by meeting expectations, or is it defined by completely shattering them? The story of 1994 seems to suggest that sometimes the most memorable victories aren't about who was supposed to win, but about who proved they had the substance to truly wear the crown.